And here inside the studio, we are joined by Israel Iferoba, News Central correspondent, who has been following the stories closely alongside families of fallen heroes and those who are living in the realities of this day. Israel, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I'm wondering now, you've been following the stories, you've been following the individual stories and also everything that the government has said, especially on Armed Forces Remembrance Day. And I'm wondering how consistent the government promises are with the lived realities and experiences of these veterans who are yet alive as we celebrate Armed Forces Remembrance Day.
Well, thank you so much, Zeno. Yes, indeed, it's been like a ritual over the years, and this keep recurring. It happens every single year, and I can boldly say that the only good thing that has come out over the years is the fact that the government of Nigeria has not forgotten to set aside January 15th as a day to remember our fallen heroes. But it goes beyond that, not just remembering, but we're glad they haven't forgotten that date to celebrate them. But beyond that, how have they put in place policies and documents to ensure that these people who gave a large chunk of their lives, their youthful years, the energy, the strength, the intellect, the intelligence, every single thing, for more than 35 years to put Nigeria together. What exactly have we done to make sure these people, when they look back, they say, yes, I served my country and I did it so well. So we haven't seen any meaningful change, any meaningful impact in the lives of these people who lay down their lives. The stories are all the same across the country, and that's the sad part. We haven't been able to track key specifics of things that various governments, not even the federal now, even at state level, have done to ensure that these people, they get what they truly deserve. I mean, look at that report that you just saw. The widows are crying, and the message is the same across Nigeria,
So, I'm wondering on Armed Force Celebration and Remembrance Day, we saw Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu there, and we're wondering whether there was any thought given to the travails of these veterans. Did they speak at all to what they're going through? Did they talk about maybe reforms that they would have to help these individuals?
Indeed, well, it's really not a case of where you can really hold on to something that has been said. These are promises that have been said over the years, but nothing has just been done. Okay, so in Ondo State, for instance, now, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has gone ahead now to put aside 50 million naira interest-free loan, for widows and relatives of fallen heroes. But is that enough, to help these people? Yes, it is something, but how long-lasting can that kind of interest-free loan of about 200,000 naira go to support a family who has lost, lost the breadwinner, someone who was a pillar of support for all of them. For some of these widows, this life support has been gone for many years now, and they have to live with that reality every single time. Yes, the government will tell you that they are doing XYZ for these people, but in the reality, nothing has been done. A woman there in that report was saying that not even a kobo, has come to them. When you come to speak with them, to speak with the government, there are monies being allocated for these people for plans to ensure that they live a better life, but nothing gets to them.
Well, Ife, thank you very much. If there's a reason why we had you in the other studio, because we have a full studio here. We're being joined by three gentlemen, one off of Zoom. Let me introduce them. We have with us Master Warrant Officer Ekanem George, retired Air Force official. And of course, we also have Master Warrant Officer Emiabata Musibao, who we saw in that report, also of retired Air Force officer. And joining us from Jos in Nigeria, Musa Salihu, Deputy Co-Commander, Nigeria Legion. Gentlemen, you're welcome. Thank you very much. From now, it will be broadcast standards aside, it will be Pa George and Pa Musibao and Pa Salihu, who we have online. Let's go on a quick break, and then we'll try and sort this technical issue out so we can get everything that the gentlemen are speaking.
Welcome back, and we're still on the conversation of, remembrance for armed forces. And we have Pa Musibao, Pa George, and Pa Salihu on Zoom with us this morning. And before we went on the break, I was asking Pa Musibao how it was, you know, serving Nigeria for 35 years and what went wrong. Good morning, sir.
Before a person can be called veteran, he must have served in the military for a number of years. And after retiring, then you can now become a veteran. Unlike me, I served government for good 35 years and 6 months. Up till now, government is still owing me some money, which tomorrow they will pay, next tomorrow they will pay. Nothing comes out. But we are thanking God we are alive. Struggle continue. That is just like that.
So before I move on ahead to Pa George, okay, you served 35 years and 6 months. What year did you retire?
I retired 2005.
2005?
Yes, December 15.
Right.
That was when I retired, more than 10 years ago.
And still, you're still being owed?
I'm still being owed. They still owe some money. They've not paid. Not even to me alone, most of everybody.
Right.
So, Pa George, I'm wondering, when the Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day comes every single year, I'm wondering what goes through your mind as you see the elaborate preparations that the government puts for this remembrance as against what really happens in your lives when you have to consider everything that is being owed you for years of service.
Thank you very much for this great opportunity. And in fact, I'm not regretting serving the military in my country. But unfortunately, what you did not even expect is what you are seeing. Despite the hardship, despite the tedious training that you are going on, and at the end of the day, you don't have a tangible thing to go home with. Even when you retired, government is still promising and fail, keeping you in suspense, making life difficult, which is not so easy for a retiree to move along with life. You know, when you retire, definitely they've drained much part of you, 90%, and by right, you're supposed to go home and relax. But you still go home and start looking forward to gather to fend your life, to living, to keep your family moving. So as I was saying, there's no regret whatsoever. Life continues. Where there's life, there's hope. We continue working. We are only retired, but we are not tired.
Right.
So we cannot.
I love that. And of course, we have our veteran, Musa Salihu, joining us live on Zoom. Good morning, sir. So please, can you just tell us your experience, 35 years serving Nigeria. What are the challenges that you are facing?
I am BCC Musa Salihu.
Yes.
Yeah, Plateau State Command. After my retirement, I decided to still, contribute to the Nigeria by joining the Corps of Auctioneer. The government promised that it is a work to help the heroes that falls down to help their children for work. But unfortunately, they established this cause without taking care of them. Our children are being recruited, but the government did not take care of them. All what we are doing, we have to create a bit that they used to go and perform duty and get some allowance. Because the children, they cannot go to the school. The mothers have nothing to take care of their children. So that is where they are managing up. Like me, now, I served 35 years. At the same time, disengagement from the job. That is July 9, 2001. Up till now, we are have not been paying some of our allowances. Government continue promises of paying us, but until we went to peaceful protest before they continue, giving us some of the part of the money. The government is trying quite all right, but those surrounding the government are the one punishing the veteran. According to my colleague here now, he said you cannot be a veteran until you serve some certain years and you are retired before you can be a veteran, which is true. But we do celebrate for the fallen heroes. The last ones need to be taken care of, which we are struggling for always. Actually, we are not regretting of being a soldier, but we are supposed to be taken care of after disengagement. So I'm pleading to the government. Some of our allowances that they are supposed to pay us in bulk, they continue serving it, paying it quarterly. Instead of paying in bulk, so that the veterans can use it for a good motion, but they slide it down. Sometimes some of us myself, they pass away without receiving that money. And the government continue promising us that they are not owing us. They have approved amount that are supposed to pay us up. But still yet, we are not getting it. So I'm pleading to the government to make sure to help us. Some of us now cannot do any job again, according to my colleagues here. You cannot leave a guard post and come to another guard post. Our age is not supposed to be like that. And our children that they are doing this corps of commissioners. In fact, I'm begging government to consider this very corps of commissioners to approve them to be a working area.
Okay, Pastor Alihu. Pastor Alihu, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let me come back to the studio here. Pa George, I wanted you to bring us into your world. We keep hearing about these promises from the government. Exactly what were these promises? After 35 years of service, what does the government owe you? Before we go into talking about how they haven't paid those rewards, what exactly is owed a veteran upon retirement?
What is owing us is like this disabandonment fund allowances that are supposed to be given.
These allowances are monthly or yearly, or how are they disbursed?
The man I've said, salary I've said quarterly. They disburse it quarterly, which is not very good to us. The money is supposed to be paid once and for all, so that you can make use of it. When you start splitting it, you end up not. Some people have passed on, just as what you have said, and without getting the money.
Now, this is quarterly across how many years? Is it supposed to be quarterly for life, or quarterly until when? And how much exactly are we talking about, if you don't mind?
The figure is disclosed anyway. We cannot just disclose that, because we don't want to dabble into the government. Well, actually it's supposed to be once yearly. But we don't know the protocol or what they have in mind for us.
What you would rather is that it is once yearly, but at the moment it's supposed to be quarterly, and that is still not being met.
Yes, exactly.
That's very, very sad. Pa Musibao, how has the government failed, apart from these amounts that are not being paid? Are there any other details that they failed at that you would like to bring to light?
Good. So, as a soldier, retired soldier, you need to be taken care of. The salary given to or paying to them, they are paying them like a laborer. That you cannot use it for anything. With this hardship, if you are buying a bag of rice, just end up the money there. You can't buy any other foodstuff again. You have children, even though if you have grown-up ones, you have the small ones with you. They are going to feed them. You sick, you are going to use money to buy drugs. Go to medical center. you cannot get the type of drugs you want there. They will give you prescription, go outside, go and buy it. When you use your money to buy those drugs, nothing remains for you to complete the end of the month. Then that money is not refunding back to you. It is good for them to create or institute veteran hospital.
Does that exist?
Yes.
I thought that exists already. A veteran hospital, veteran health.
No. There is no veteran hospital. They should create that avenue for veterans alone, widow and veterans. They should be going there. In other foreign countries, you see veterans hospital, veteran supermarket, even aircraft debate were given to veterans.
Right.
They have car parks. If you park your vehicle there, if you are not a veteran, they will come and ask you to remove it. Because all those things are meant to be implemented here.
Right.
But they sidetracked it because of their selfishness.
Musiba, so we noticed that both of you walked in here with a walking stick. And, you know, having lived and used your youth for 35 years in Nigeria can be challenging. Even us that we've not used 35 years, some days your knees are like,
My knee is
oh
aching
my
me
God.
now.
So there are a lot of health challenges.
Yes.
And has the government said anything? Of course, we've seen, you know, the protest of, you know, even paying pensions. And this is very personal to me because my dad is retired. You know, he retired 2010. And he still says the same thing.
The Air Force or police?
Police. So he still says the same thing. And I know that sometimes for the police, they move them to mobile police, then army, and then you go here, and then you do peacekeeping. There's a lot of moving. For me, it affected, you know, the children. I went to 5 secondary schools because I had to move every time my father was moving. So how is your family coping with all of this, and how are you coping with your health? And what is the government saying? They keep promising and keep promising. Yes. What is the new promise now that we've celebrated another year of
Armed Forces Remembrance?
The same promise will continue. They will still promise us, but nothing will happen. When I was in the service, quite well, I enjoyed my working in the military. Because after the crisis, everything, I was posted to headquarters, where I work for some years before I was posted to another headquarters in Ikeja. So all my posting read Lagos and headquarters. My family remains where they are. So they were not moving here and there. So those are the only thing I can say I enjoyed in the military work. That I was not, you know, being pushed or pushed here and there, because I worked in a sensitive office.
Right.
So that's why I remain until I retire.
Let's come now to Pa Musa Salihu in Plateau State. I'm going to ask my question after the break. Let's go on a short break, but before we go, let me tell you what I'll be asking about. It's going to be about, well, those who have gone, who have passed. What fate lies for their family with whatever promises the government has given to them or their family? How is it achieved? What do they have to do to be able to retrieve these promises? Do stay with us. We'll be right back after this break. Hey, welcome back. Now, it's a very tense conversation. It's a conversation we didn't think would get this emotional, but apparently inside the studio it is getting emotional. We have three gentlemen here, Pa Musibao, Pa George, and of course on Zoom we have Pa Salihu joining us all the way from Jos as we discuss Remembrance, yes, celebration and remembrance for armed force. The Armed Forces of Nigeria, every single year in January is celebrated. There's so much put into it. However, there's so much neglect that's given to the people who have served 35 years and over in the Nigerian Armed Forces, and what's left of them to suffer is what we're discussing today. Now, Mr. Musa Salihu is joining us from Plateau State, and I'm coming to you with the question that I asked from before. Now, there are those who have passed, sir, and I'm wondering what their families have to go through. In that special report, we saw widows crying and telling how they have been paid nothing since after 10 years, 9 years, 8 years. If you could explain to us exactly what these individuals have to go through to retrieve whatever promises they've been promised to their late spouses or fathers, and how real it is that they do get these monies. Pa Salihu.
very painful subject. The widows are suffering too much because even we that we are alive, before we get our benefit, the way we suffer, in fact, only God help us that we can get gratuity. Most of the widows, since their husbands are not alive, they get it very difficult to get the gratuity. Some of them, they use their children for the next of kin. They continue traveling from all over the nation to the headquarters. But except you have somebody that can help you before they get their entitlement. That is why this Corps of Corruptioneer was created to, create job for the children of the fallen heroes. But unfortunately, the Corps of Corruptioneer was not, approved, even now as I'm talking, by the government. And what we do, we decided to use it as guard posts for the children, so that some of the organizations, they will be guarding there and have their daily bread. That is what some of them are using to feed their mother and going to school. Like me now, as my colleague said, moving about with a family. Like me, I left my family in just here for 13 years when I was an instructor in Nigerian Defense Academy. I spent 13 years there before my retirement. And because if I'm to be moving them up and down, my children will not have better school to attend. So I left them in Jos. After I disengaged from the service, then I joined them back in Jos. So that is why we are pleading to government, this Corps of Corruptioneer, they should make it. That is, it's not even only the fallen heroes children. They make it nationwide to employ others so that it can be a job instead of jobless people that are having many criminals in the country.
All right.
If this Corps of Corruptioneer can be approved, I think it will help the government in a long way.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Ali, who, of course, I have to say thank you to all the gentlemen who have joined us here today. A little confession, we actually had to go on a break because Queen had to have a moment. And I just wanted to say to you as well, because from everything that the gentleman has spoken, I'm beginning to see how it impacts the children of veterans as well. It never occurred to me how much of an impact that could be until now.
Yeah.
But,
so having been a child of, someone who's given their life to Nigeria, having to experience them go through war, go through armed robbery operations, and them coming back safe, it's so unfair, to see them go through all this and all.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'll give you a moment.